I then left the Wupatki ruins and proceeded to the Citadel, which you can see there in the background. It's on the right side of the screen. I actually had to do a narration of this portion because when I did the battery change in the previous episode, I apparently didn't press the GoPro back together tight enough. So I was able to get video, luckily, but I didn't get any audio to come with it. So I'll have to narrate this part. In the background, you can see on the right-hand side is the San Francisco Peaks. It's about 12,000 feet of elevation. It's the highest point in Arizona. And there'll be snow up there from, well, all of except maybe July and August. The only time you don't see any snow up there. As we come up here on the Citadel, it's up on the right-hand side. I tried to record some audio using my iPhone, but it was still too windy. So it just wasn't going to work. In fact, it was so windy that it was knocking down trees in around the area. And there's an example of one. It's not far from where I'm staying. It looks like a perfectly healthy pine tree, except it got blown over by the constant high winds that lasted for about a week. And that was during the day I was filming that episode. The interesting thing about this tree is you can see on the inside it was actually hollowed out by fire. At least on the base it was. It looks like a perfectly normal tree, except inside there it was hollowed out by fire. Just some scarring on the outside, but apparently the flame had got up on the inside and had essentially hollowed out the tree. That had weakened it. Here we are back at the Citadel. You can see there's some people up on top. Then at the base of the ruins there are some more structures similar to the ones over at the Wupatki ruins. Same type of construction. It's only about a mile away. This one, though, was interspersed not just with the flat slate-like stones, but they also had some of the black volcanic stones that they used also as part of the wall structures. There's an example. Again, the doors are very small. Couldn't have been more than 3.5 to 4 feet tall. And they're also very narrow. And then I made my way up the side of the Citadel along looks like a paved pathway they had there. A big crater. You can see in the background the San Francisco Peaks again. Again, the big volcanic rocks that would have been thrown out of the volcanoes, scattered everywhere. And then once we got up on top of the structure, it was more of the flat rocks. There was evidently some type of building up there, but they really don't know what it was. It was just rocks and the building bricks they would have used just strewn everywhere. A mix of the volcanic rocks. It was relatively flat up on top. But just nothing much else up there. out to another ruins area. It's a really neat looking tree there. This is a little bigger complex than the rest. The structure itself is bigger than most. I imagine that the structure that was probably at the Citadel more than likely resembled something similar to this structure, but this one was more intact. It was just a single structure. But I don't think they had the handrail back in the day. This one was different in that it had a very high windows. You can see it's quite a ways up there. It had been 7 feet up. I had to extend the camera up on a tripod just to look in. Notice how flat the top of it is. It looked to me like there was evidence that someone had hammered on it with stones or something to flatten out portions of it. There it is from the ground level, looking from the other side. And it's pretty obvious, this structure, from a long way away. There's some rocks that were carved out by the wind. And then I left that ruins and headed back up the mountain toward the sunset crater. The higher in elevation that I got, the more vegetation there was. I stopped off at an area to have some lunch, and I noticed there was some birds making a weird noise. I think it was a crow. I went looking for it. And then I noticed all this loose rock, and it's everywhere. It's like trying to walk on sand. I had some lunch. My lunch was blueberries, cherries, and freeze-dried turkey and green beans. You just put it in a thermos with a strainer on top, fill it with hot water, and then wait about 20-30 minutes. And when you're ready, just empty out all the hot water. Or you can keep it in your backpack for several hours and it'll stay warm. Have it later. I had was either a Pinyon jay or a Mexican jay that was watching me the whole time. I imagine it knows to look for food scraps. It was sitting up in the tree behind me. I threw some of the table scraps at him. given the size, I think it's a Mexican jay, but it's pretty unusual to see one this far north. And when me and the bird both finished lunch, I got back in the Jeep and headed further up the mountain. And when I get up over the ridge here, I enter into the Sunset Crater National Monument. And I'll pick that up on the next episode. So thanks for watching.